Lovely. Right. Okay. So as Nick just mentioned, we've only got a few minutes on this, so it's a rather whistle-stop tour of how we can use AI to interpret qualitative information sets. So apologies to anyone who's already using AI for these purposes, but if it's the case that you aren't already, this might save you lots and lots of time. So for example, let's imagine that we've got a level 1 course and we've just surveyed all of the students on the course and we've asked them 20 questions each. If you've got 100 students on that course, you're going to be talking about 2,000 responses. If you're then wanting to compare that with, say, a level 2 and a level 3 year 1 and a level 3 year 2 group, you might be talking up to 8,000 responses. And anyone who's ever done any thematic analysis in the past will remember just how laborious and time consuming that is. So in order to be more productive, let's see how we can take something like a 5 to 10 hour job and trim it down to something that's more like 5 or 10 minutes. So the most important thing to remember, as has been mentioned before, is that the quality of output that you receive from AI is very heavily dependent on the quality of the prompt that you put into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine we've got a course, and we're going to call it Course X, and it runs over 2 years. So we've received some feedback about the course from our students on year 1 and on year 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to use AI to analyze the responses to a question. And we're going to get it to extrapolate some themes for us and make a few determinations. So the most important thing is the prompt, as we mentioned. Now, first of all, we start with a little bit of context. So let's have a look at this one here that we've got on the screen. So it says, I've received responses to the following survey question about the quality of teaching at a 2-year course at a UK college. I'd like you to analyse this data from our year 1 students. So there's our context. Here's the question that we asked. So we asked them, how would you rate the quality of teaching and learning on this course and why? So now the important part is what we're asking AI to do for us. So I'd like you to break this down into themes and provide me with some data on the percentage of positive and negative comments and even suggest some solutions. So here's the data. So we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it into Chat GPT on this occasion. And we're going to use some data as well from the survey responses. So what I've actually done here is just got a load of anonymized data. In fact, this was actually just generated by Chat GPT for us. So we're going to copy this and we're going to paste this into Chat GPT along with our prompt. So as you can see here, we've got our prompt, and further down you have our feedback that our students have given us. So let's have a look at what it's done for us. So it's broken it down into themes. So first of all, we've got some positive ones around teacher knowledge, expertise, communication and feedback. It's given us a nice example quote from each of the themes, and then it's done some further analysis for us as well. Similarly, it's done the same with negative themes. So again, we've got some themes that have been pulled out. We've got some quotes, and then we've got some further analysis. Now, what it also tends to do is give us a really nice mix, because we've asked it to, of the differences between the positive and the negative responses. So as we can see here, it's largely positive, but there is some mixed and negative responses too. What it's also done is given us some nice AFIs as well. So at the end, we have our nice summary. And then importantly, it's broken them down in each of the key themes for us with some positivity and negativity. So we've done that for year 1 students. Now, what we're going to do is compare that with our year 2 students. So here's a new prompt for it, just following on from that last one that we've already placed in. And this one says, now I'd like to take some of those responses to the same question from our year 2 students and do the same analysis. But at the end, I'd like you to do some comparative analysis between the two and also explore some additional themes. So we're going to go back to our data set. We're going to copy and paste this back into Chat GPT, and let's see what we get this time. So here you can see the prompt, followed by all of our feedback from our students. So let's see what the differences are between the two. So this time with the thematic breakdown, we can see that positivity is less prevalent around potential for improvement, support and approachability. And the negativity is far more prevalent around lesson structure, motivation, repetitiveness and relevance. In addition to that, we've got our sentiment analysis, which we asked it to do originally, 75% of them this time being negative. And again, we've got more AFIs that it's given us. But here's a really important table for us because it splits really clearly in quantitative terms the difference between our positivity and our negativity, and it also explores some of the key strengths and weaknesses as well. In addition, it gives us some further insights about some of those core themes that it's pulled out. In addition to that, it's given us some recommended solutions, which is also quite nice. So what we can then do is further refine this if we want to. We can ask extra questions around drilling down into these themes and telling us about the percentage of prevalence and all sorts of extra questions that will just further refine and give us even more information that we can use. But the important thing is to remember with this is that the prompt that we provide is absolutely critical. So do remember to give the AI, whichever one you're using, the context first. Be really specific about what it is that you're wanting to do. You can use it, as we've just done then, to compare it with other data sets. And remember, there are a variety of different AI applications out there, like Bing Copilot and Claude, as Sue had mentioned earlier. But what you'll see is that there are slight differences between the output that you receive from each of the programs. So do check your output, because it isn't as intelligent as we are. So we will need to check those responses. But that's a very quick whistle-stop tour of how you can use AI to interpret really large data sets and save yourselves hours and hours of time.